Hey, you guys. Hey. Okay, so I need to make this message real quick. So, God has been talking to me about the separation, okay? He actually started talking to me about it not this past Sunday, but the previous Sunday, that Sunday morning. He was pouring out so much about the separation, like nonstop, that he was concluding the separation process. This is something he's doing again. Uh, I want to say towards the end of 2022, he had me put out a message saying that he was concluding the separation process. He was bringing it to a close, right? And this is one of the times that I was able to learn that God's time is not our time, right? Jesus is Lord, and that, we all go through things in different seasons. So around that time when I put out the message, I'm thinking, okay, it's coming to a close for me too. And I'm thinking it's going to happen just like that. But what I didn't understand, that God was ushering me into a wilderness place where he was going to be concluding the separation process. He was going to be retesting a lot of those relationships, right? He had tested them before, but God is gracious. And so even if he tests us, he brings correction. He shows us, the things we may have gotten wrong. He gives us, he shows us a better way of doing things. Some of the people in our lives, after he tested their hearts in regards to some of us, he showed them, right? Some of us experienced a small amount of vindication. Like say in the beginning when God was separating you from people, he slightly vindicated you a little bit too, okay, for some people. He began to show people, your worth and value a little bit, not all of it, right? Not all of it, because he was testing their heart as well. But they got a glimpse. They got a glimpse of it, right? And so God brought correction to these people in the very beginning. He brought correction to them in regards to you. This is how he showed it to me. And so then he let it come back around again, right? And then he wanted to retest them. So the first time they failed to test. The first time a lot of them failed to test. And then God brought correction. You may have received a little vindication because of how he ushered you and transferred, transitioned you to some places and things that these people never thought you were capable of. And that was part of your vindication, them seeing you, go to places they didn't think you would ever go, or you be, starting businesses, doing different things, writing books, whatever God led you to do. It was kind of a form of vindication for you too, because a lot of the people he was separating you from, they never saw you that way. They never thought you capable of doing that. Jesus is Lord. That's just how he's showing it to me. So coming back around after God brought correction to them and gave you some form of vindication in those ways, he wanted to retest them again. And how he retested a lot of them again was allowing us to go into a wilderness, right? Allowing some of us to lose certain things, allowing some of us to go through some hard times. And during that process, he was testing them to see if they learned their lesson. This has been what he's been doing, that he showed me to conclude the separation process. Now, some people with him concluding the separation process, it could have taken a couple months. For some people, it could have taken 1 year. Some, it could have taken longer, okay? But it's some messages that God has been putting on my heart for me to reshare, to repost. And I'm just letting y'all know this is why I'm reposting it, because it's in season again. Yeah, I posted it 2 years ago. For the people it was for, it was in season then. Now it's in season again, okay? So I'm going to repost it again for the people it's for right now, because he's literally concluding the separation process. These people have been tested multiple times. Some of the people may have made an excuse. This is something he showed me as well. Okay, some of the people may have made an excuse in regards to you before. Like they may have said, well, things were tight. Their situation was bad, and that's why they handled you the way they handled you, right? So they may have came at God with an excuse, saying they handled you in that situation because things were looking rough for them at the time. Things were bad for them at the time, and that's why they handled you that way, right? So God has recently been testing that out for some people, okay? Jesus is Lord, the way he showed it to me. So for some people, some of the people God is separating you from, God may have recently blessed them, right? He may have allowed them to receive some kind of blessing. So they can be in a position to where he could test their hearts towards you again, right? This is how he was showing it to me. He could allow them to have some type of blessing, something to start looking up for them, just so he could retest them in the same area again, because some of them came up with the excuse, well, they were doing bad or whatever. Yeah, Jesus is Lord. I just got to share all the things he brought to mind, and this was one of them. So he retested them. Now that, they have that blessing, now that they're doing better, what is their response to you, right? There was a message God had me release saying to obey God with your finances. That message was broader than what I was able to share. He also showed me this for some of the people he was separating you from. Some of the people he is separating you from, he put it on their hearts. He put it on some of their hearts to be a blessing to you, to help. And they didn't, okay? Y'all, and I tell y'all, God has been doing so much testing. He's not just testing you, he's testing the people around you. He's very thorough. He's being very thorough with all this. He is a just judge, a righteous judge, a just judge. So he wasn't just going based upon one test. They had multiple tests. Jesus is Lord. So anyways, he's concluding the separation process. I'm going to share the messages he told me to share, reshare. I'm going to reshare the previous ones, y'all. And I just wanted to let y'all know this is why I'm resharing them. And he just wants to make sure you understand. And I'm praying that he takes over the conversation for you guys and he begins to show you the different times and different areas and the different people. He has literally been retesting them. They've been retested. He's a just God. He's just not just taking one test and scoring them off of that. They've had multiple chances. They've had multiple chances to do right by you. They've had multiple chances, to do better, to show their heart towards you. Jesus is Lord, their heart towards God. Because some of them wouldn't even obey God when it came to you. They hardened their heart towards him when he brought correction pertaining to you, right? Jesus is Lord. So anyways, God will be dealing with them, okay? But I just want to make this message because this is something he was talking about really heavily that day. But I was a little overwhelmed because there were so many messages and I needed to get out the other messages first. Jesus is Lord. Y'all forgive me if I'm sharing some uncomfortable messages around this holiday season. I had to get them all out of obedience. So I'm going to be trying to, get them out as much as possible over the next couple of days. Because they're in season, okay? So forgive me for the timing, but they're in season. Jesus is Lord. But yeah, I just want to share that with y'all, that God is concluding the separation process. And that's why what a lot of y'all have been experiencing and seeing with your relationships, the exposure he's been doing with your relationships, making it clear and evident, because some of y'all have such big hearts. So when he calls you away, you are not turning back around. You're not looking back. You can go straight ahead to where he's leading you, to where he's guiding you, where he's directing you with a clear conscience. Anytime you obey God, you don't have to feel bad, okay? We obey God, not man. And everybody's not going to understand, and that's okay. And sometimes you have to move forward without closure. But just trust where God is leading you. Trust how he is guiding you. And trust what he has shown you. Trust what he has shown you. Seriously, y'all. We got to trust what he has shown us. He has been exposing so many. And so even though it's hard, it's going to be for the best, for your best and for their best as well, okay? And you can keep them in prayer, okay? You can keep them in prayer, okay? But just make sure you're in step with God and you are obeying him, continually and heading where he's taking you, okay? Heading where he is taking you. Jesus is Lord. Oh man, it's so much. It's so much. Okay, I'm gonna leave this message at that. It is so much. I'm just gonna share the other messages with you guys, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay. If God give me anything else pertaining to this, I'll add it. All right. But that's it. I love y'all. But that's it for now. I love y'all though. I love y'all so much. Y'all be blessed. Y'all, this was something God has showed me too. Okay, that some of y'all have literally had some of these people constantly just, it's like they've been being mean to you. They've been having a problem with you, okay? And you haven't done anything to them. You haven't done anything to them. And what it is God has been, he has been speaking to their heart regarding you, and they have been rejecting it. They've been rejecting it. And so instead, they've hardened their hearts. So it's like some people who have literally just been having a problem with you, been having an attitude with you. And it's like, you ain't did nothing to deserve it. Like nothing to deserve it. And you just been trying to, keep the peace or whatever. But that's how God was showing it to me. It's because God has been trying to speak to their heart regarding you, and they have completely hardened their heart not to hear it. And so when they see you, they have an attitude with you because they have literally hardened their heart towards you, even though you haven't done anything to deserve it. And really what they've done is harden their heart towards God. Jesus is Lord. So definitely keep them in your prayers as God leads you, okay? Because these are different people, Everybody's situation is different. But that I just want to add that because that is something that God literally shined a light on, because I was like, why is this person handling me like this? Like, Jesus is Lord. And then also, the spirits that people are wrestling with. God is about to elevate his children like never before. And them people that's wrestling with them demonic spirits and whatnot, they angry with you and they don't even know why. But it's really the spirit that's in them, okay? So those were some things that God showed me. If that's something you've been dealing with, unfair treatment or just people just being mean and hateful for no reason. And you just like, I didn't even do any, like, you just hadn't been able to figure it out. Or maybe God showed you. So I'm just letting you know this just to confirm it. That's what it is, okay? That you just continue doing what God told you to do and being who God told you to be and letting him direct your steps. But he's also told you too that this is somebody he's separating you from for this very reason, because they have literally hardened their heart towards you, when in truth they've hardened their heart towards him. And he's going to take it from here, okay? He's going to get you to safety, where you have a place where you can work in peace, where you can grow in peace through the things that he's, this is a whole nother message. Jesus is Lord. Some people, God is going to transition you somewhere where you can work in peace, when you can do the things that he's called you to do in peace because of the hearts of the people around you, okay? And that may mean you going to a different job, right? You getting a promotion to where you're in a different place or whatever, to where those people can no longer affect you, right? Or you transitioning somewhere to where you don't have to, deal with that kind of environment, or whatever the case may be. God just wants you to know that's what he's doing in this season. And, those are basically his reasons why he has tested these people over and over and over and over again. And at this point, some of them have completely hardened their hearts in regards to you, which in reality, they hardened their hearts to him. And they did not take correction. Okay? Their hearts haven't been soft and pliable. And they have not taken correction from him. All right, y'all. That was it. All right. I love y'all. I love y'all so much. Y'all be blessed.